Welcome back to the Maine Pageant Place. Today we have the honor of interviewing our first director of the American Miss System, Brenda Pollock. Her mom, Theresa Pelletier, started this pageant in 1986. Brenda, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, and it's great to see you.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about the legacy that you're continuing on today that your mom created.
Well, we're going to be celebrating our 5th year since we relaunched the pageant. The pageant started in 1986, as you said, by my mom. I used to help her, and actually, it was a family affair. So all of my sisters would help her run the American Miss pageant. We typically held it in Bangor. I moved away and I wasn't able to help her anymore. And she just got to the age where she couldn't do it alone. So life had me boomerang back to this great state of Maine. And when I got back here, um, my mom ended up in a nursing home and I went to visit her one day. And I just wanted to give her a little bit of hope, just sitting in that nursing home. And I remembered of all of the good things she did through pageantry for women in this state with her program. So I looked at her and I had this aha moment and said, Mom, why don't we start this pageant again? And she lit up. And in her French little words, oui, oui, that's how we decided to relaunch the pageant. So we sat down, opened up a notebook, and I literally wrote down, here's how we're going to do it. And what do you think? And she had input in it. And we're going to be celebrating 5 years, carrying on her legacy.
That's amazing. I happened to notice that there was kind of a new design of crowns. Does that have anything to do with your mom at all?
Absolutely. So when we started the pageant, Mom and I picked out a crown from a company that we know very well down south. And after she passed away, I looked at the crown and before ordering, I said, you know what? Let me call the company. So I called the company and described my mother to her. And I said, I would walk in to visit her in a nursing home, and she'd be sitting there with her hair done, all makeup on, sequins top, sitting in her wheelchair and her big bling necklace, which she is very well known for. And I realized the crown that we were purchasing didn't have her touch on it, didn't really represent her. So I described her to the crown designer, and they came up with this stunning crown that when we saw it, I'm like, yeah, she would love it. So, yeah, so we're really happy. The state crown, the national crowns, they're all with that same design, and we're the only system that will ever have it.
It's so elegant and very eye-catching, and I love the meaning behind it. I think that just speaks home about what your pageant's all about, the root of taking care of one another and loving and continuing on the legacy.
Well, you know about pageantry too, and I say this all the time. It's not about the crown. It's what you bring to the crown. It's the sparkle that you add. Anyone can wear a crown on their head, but what are you going to do with that opportunity? You're going to use it to open doors to do good. That's the best. Then you truly add a sparkle to the crown. So, we like to encourage women who are like-minded, women who value intelligence, are ambitious, and most importantly, are kind. We can't get around without kindness today.
Absolutely. I think that we like the saying here, it's not a crown, it's a call to action.
100%.
So tell me a little bit more about the basis of the American Miss System. What do you kind of look for, and how do you like to highlight your delegates in the community?
So first of all, our program is we want to keep it as simple as possible to participate. We want to make everybody's experience a positive experience. Um, we want everybody to go there with the attitude like you're going to win the crown, because that's when you really pull out the best in you to compete. Uh, we crown state queens in 9 age divisions across the country. Right now, we have an open platform, so they simply need to go online, fill out an application. If they meet the qualifications, then they can compete in the pageant. We try to keep our entry fees very low, so that it can be affordable for anyone, right? There's a lot of young women who might see someone in a parade, but with these astronomical entry fees and other systems, and not to put them down, but we just didn't want that. We wanted to make it affordable for everyone. So we try to keep that down. And then we want to surround ourselves with good people. So then what we'll do afterwards is we try to involve ourselves very much with Shriners. So we're making it an annual event to go to the haunted walk. So any state queen or any national queen is welcome to join us for Shriners Children's Hospital, the haunted walk in Massachusetts. That's always fun. We're going to be planning a ball game that we're going to. But all of the women and girls who participate also have their own platforms or things that they work towards or they want to support. And this is a perfect opportunity as a state queen to say, diabetes matters to me. I'm going to do this as my state representative at any age. Simple thing, we start collecting can tabs right away. We encourage them to do that. People don't realize that little simple action can actually pay for the travel expenses of a family going back and forth to Shriners Children's Hospital in Boston. Just that little bit. So I guess we encourage that. We encourage people to go out. Don't take a crown and put it on your shelf. Take it, use it, do good in your community, do good in the world. You know, we're around here once, leave a good footprint.
Absolutely. I happened to see that you and your national queens that are local here in Maine actually got to go up to the State House not too long ago and be honored for their community service. What was that like seeing the women honored at a state level?
We actually were invited by the state Senate office, which was a huge honor. We're very fortunate this year. Maine girls really came out and shined and walked away with 5 of the national titles, which has never happened before. So the state Senate office invited us up. It was great. It's, that's the people's house, right? The state house is the people's house. So even for our youngest competitor coming in as a teen, it was really good for her to know, hey, this is where things happen in the state. And if you want to make a difference or you want to believe in a cause, come, this is the people's house. So even though they went there as a young woman with a crown, now they've been there and they can see the hustle and the bustle and all the things that go on. And they were truly so well honored. And, I hope they take that experience and get more involved in things that are happening in our state.
Absolutely. Well, I see your queens all over the place from here to there, representing not only their personal platforms, but what their sisterhood stands for. And I think that's one of the best parts about pageantry is learning about others' platforms as well. It's so instrumental to know how you can impact your community on a different level. And we get so focused on what's on our agenda that it's great to learn about others and to see what's important to them as well.
And I think, too, that whole spirit and that kindness spirit carries through not only out in their communities, but pageant weekend. Um, the girls are backstage helping each other out. And every year, it always happens. I don't know how, but somebody's dress is ripped. So, and everybody, I've got a sewing kit. And then you'll see me or my daughter Emily, we're down on the ground. Okay, I'm going under your dress now. And we're sewing from underneath. But it's that kind of environment that, yes, we want everybody to be competitive, but be the best version of you for that moment and be happy for the person who ends up walking away with the crown. Uh, just because you don't walk away with a crown doesn't mean you weren't a winner today. You were a winner for being there, for being present, for getting there, for doing all of the things that represented that state title. Um, so I'm really proud about that. Most proud about that, I think. It's an amazing system to just walk away and feeling, yeah, we're doing something right.
I can say as an observer of your system and kind of watching how you've unfolded the last few years, it speaks to the environment that you're creating where I see a lot of returning delegates. And it's great to not only see returning delegates, but then placing in different uh, and it's great to not only see returning delegates, but to see them placing higher than they maybe did the previous year. So the workshops that you put in and that education and that training that leads up, it very much seems like those systems are in place.
I think too, we try to do is offer people help, whether it's your first pageant or your 10th pageant or how many. Whether pageantry is a sport for you doesn't mean you're walking away with that crown. You can have that first time girl that comes on and just does everything right. We try to put as much information as we can on our website that will help them not only in our pageant system, but in any pageant system that they do. There are tips and tricks that, they should know. I always have a saying, don't leave a point on the stage. And that's kind of my saying to say, go out and be your best for that moment. Because then when you walk off that stage and you can say, I didn't leave a point on the stage, then you know you've done your best and you can be happy with that. So that was my saying with my granddaughter all the time, don't leave a point on the stage. And she'd come off the stage and she'd say, didn't leave a point on the stage.
I love
So,
that.
yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the 9 different age divisions. Tell me about how that highlights each women and the different ages of their lives.
It's really hard sometimes when you put, let's say, a 13-year-old girl to compete against a 19-year-old girl. Is no way you can do it, right? And so what we wanted to do was to offer a system that really put women together in an age category that made sense. So our 5 to 8 division, for example, a 5-year-old can come in and really, you know, pull everything off and outperform an 8-year-old, no problem. Um, we feel that's, it's a good age. 2 to 4, we added just a few years ago. It's not an age division that, we want to make sure that if someone comes there, they're really going to get something from being part of this experience. And so for that, we only have them compete in two categories. So they compete in evening gown and they compete in fashion runway. And that's it. They go in and meet the judges formally, but we do this kind of like a way for them to just be able to smile at the judges when they're sitting down. So they get dressed up and they come in with their mom, so they're very comfortable. And the judges each give them a little gift, which is great because then that makes their day. And then they realize that, hey, they're nice, so maybe they'll smile at them. So we have that division. 9 to 12, that's last year, I think, was one of the most competitive age divisions of the entire pageant. Any one of those girls could have walked away with the crown. I was so impressed with the talent on stage. And several of those competitors, it was their first pageant ever. And so they're coming back, which is great. Um, and then afterwards, we have our preteen division, 13 to 15. It's a small group and it's a small age division, but there's no way you can put them in with a teenager. They're just not there. And this way they can all relate. I feel it's much better to have them as junior teens to compete together. And then 16 to 19, we keep that because we wanted to keep it a true teen. 20 to 25 is our Miss division. 26 and over, that's our Miss division. You can be married. You can't be married, but you can have been married. You can be divorced. You can be a parent or single, but you'll fall into that age division. We have our Mrs. division, which is 18 and over. You have to be married. And then a few years ago, we also added the Elegant Miss. And Elegant Miss is for married women or not married, but they have to be 50 or over. What I find is women that age bring a lot of wisdom, bring a lot to the table, and we just felt that cheering them on for that age division was phenomenal. So, yeah, that's a fast-growing division for us.
I love that. Something I've noticed that's pretty unique within yourself, I think, in your system is that you really support your queens when they eventually pass their titles down and seek out their next opportunity. And I noticed that it looks like you guys created a partnership in a sense with the Miss Maine organization. Can you touch on that at all?
Absolutely. I have always been a huge fan of the Miss America system. My sister is a former Miss Maine in that system, and I used to serve on the board of directors for Miss Maine America. I really respect the fact that they celebrate and acknowledge women for their intelligence. Women of any walk of life, are very smart and they're coming here and they have a purpose and they have a platform and they are phenomenal women who are doing amazing things in this country. So for us to be able to partner and support each other's pageant systems, I think it was just smart way for us to be able to build a group of young women who understands what the true meaning of pageantry should be and to help build them. So when they get to the age division where they can compete for either their teen division or their Miss division, these women are so well prepared because the national stage at Miss America, it's big. And what I've always found is Maine women are very bring a lot to the table. The thing that we lack is experience. And when you get onto a stage at that level and you get to compete with the Miss South Carolina or Miss Illinois or California or Texas, these competitors have been to tons of pageants. And so I felt it was really important for us to be able to create that partnership. We support women in their pageantry journey. So we do not have them sign a contract or a non-compete that they only belong to us. We want to be part of their journey.
I love that. So that partnership, what does that look like in the sense for you guys with those first runner-ups? I think that there was a component there. Do you want to speak on that at all?
Yeah, we're very excited. So we're going to offer the first runner-up at the Miss Maine pageant system, Miss Maine America pageant system, a free entry into the American Miss pageant. And then anyone who competes in the Miss Maine America system has $100 off of our entry fee. And they're going to be reciprocal too, so that if we can pull girls up there, they're going to be doing a similar.
Amazing. I just think that speaks volumes of kind of who you are and what your true mission with pageantry is.
Well, we want to support it. We want to support it. And I think for a while, pageantry sort of had a bad rap. And it sort of lost years ago, when I started in the Miss America system, my gosh, like every little community up in northern Maine had a pageant. Then you had the Miss Potato Blossom pageant, and you had pageants throughout the state. And on the Miss Maine America stage every year, you had 40 to 50 women competing for scholarships. And that's another thing too, is my sister was able to pay for a big portion of her school through the scholarships she won through the Miss America system. So that's huge. But those days are gone. Now it's like it wasn't the cool thing to do anymore. So as a woman in the corporate world, I think it's important for me to know my voice, feel my voice, have my confidence, and that's what pageantry does. It's important for us to bring those values back and realize that there are life skills that women can use forever through a positive pageant system. So we will partner with anyone, we'll support anyone on their pageantry journey, but we're really focused on that.
Amazing. Well, tell me, what's the deadline so potential delegates will know what that cutoff is for your August pageant that's fast approaching?
I know, I can't believe it. We moved our pageant from Thanksgiving weekend to August, just because it was a little bit hard to get some judges and to certify that, to get people out there. It's a busy weekend. So we moved to August 15 to 17. Uh, if anyone wants to enter, July 20, start.
That's the cutoff.
That's it. Get to us before July 20, because we have a beautiful book that we create. We order outfits for everyone, their opening number. So all that has to take place before pageant day, which opening day is August 15th.
Amazing. And if anybody is interested in looking in more to the American Miss pageant system, you can view them right at ampmiss.com. Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you.